So, wholeness and light, wholeness and light, wholeness and light. Today is Sunday, June 28th, 2026. It's going to be a hot, humid day. Damn near heat wave, 96 degrees after a whole lot of rain. A lot of people, they're going to be seeking the AC, seeking shelter, coolness, shade. But for people like me, we're going to be outside, soaking up the sun, getting vitamin D, and improving our health and our well-being. But this is a video that nonetheless I'm going to have to repeatedly make until the goal reaches fruition. What I mean by that is, as a quote-unquote black man, black person, we are not expected to work together with other black men, with other black people, right? When black people start talking about working together, all of a sudden we're all just humans, right? Well, we're all just humans. Race doesn't matter. There is no race. And all that is true to a degree. But I'm looking for the full truth, right? Because when you look at this world, Asians are working together, right? Caucasians are working together. They are really achieving things together, ruling and controlling their own nations and whatnot. But when it comes to us, we're expected to just be equal to everybody, right? But here's the thing. Alexander the Great, his goal was what? To rule the entire world. The goal of the Roman Empire was what? To rule the entire world. But here, especially in America, we're not expected to do that as black men. So I'm saying all this because of this. The Calisthenics community, which more or less began up in New York, right? I don't know if I'm going to be the first one to say this, but I'm going to say it. Those dudes up in New York, they should be rich. They should be millionaires. Hell, even billionaires. Even when you look at all these black NBA players, they should have their own leagues. You see, we're expected to give up the Negro leagues to join their league, right? It's never the other way around. Something that we create, we're not expected to expand it. We're expected to sell it. And then whoever we sell it to, they expand it. You've heard it a lot of times, right? Where the next generation inherits something from their parents, from their black parents, quote unquote black parents, right? And it's worth a lot of money, but they sell that land, or they sell that copyright, or they sell those masters, or they sell that trademark. And then whoever gets it, they take it from the $50 million that they paid for, and that was a $50 billion thing. You see what I'm saying with that? So it's the same thing with the calisthenics community up in New York. If them dudes could like really get it together and work together and put all the pride and the ego and arrogance aside, they would be rich. They would be rich. Now, to a degree, a lot of them have been collaborating with one another. And I'm not just speaking about the calisthenics community in New York, because it's not just in New York, you know. But if they could put all that aside, they would be rich. But see, here's what's actually happening right now. As quote unquote black people have made this a thing that could become a league. They could become a billion, $trillion business, right? Because we can't put our pride and ego aside. You got folks out in Europe now, and they're putting together all these calisthenic videos, group street workout videos, battle videos. They're making up leagues and all that. That's what's going to happen. And then over time, it's going to be like, oh, you, in words, didn't start doing this first. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with rock and roll. Same thing with jazz. It's the same thing with pretty much everything that melanated people have created, black people have created. It gets taken because either we sell it out or we can't get it together to work together. So I'll reiterate it again. Them cats up in New York, they should be rich. Akeem Supreme, Brawley Gaines, Bam, and Simi and Shredder, and all them folks that a lot of us be watching, and the females too. The females too should be a men's league and a women's league, but it should be ran by the people who really put it on the map, not by some corporate cat that come up and say, you know what, I see what you guys are doing. You guys want to sell this? And then he turns it into a quadruple billion-dollar business, and his children inherits everything. Now y'all can say this is racist all y'all want. I don't care. But this is the truth. This is the truth. Point blank period. This is the truth. And there's so many people that's making, not only making money off us by coming into our community and monetizing off us, by coming into our community and making us their market, they're also coming up off of us by us creating things and then us not being able to keep it together and having to sell it or let it be taken away by some other people who work together. They work together. These other people who come in and take what we do, they work together. But the world, I say that's not racist. But if I start saying that us as black men and black women, black people should start working together and keep what we made, what we put on the map, X, Y, and Z, people will look at me crazy and say, oh man, we're all humans, and they say the obvious stuff. But at the end of the day, they expect us to leave the Negro leagues. I'm figuratively speaking. They expect us to leave the Negro leagues that's popping. They expect us to leave the chitlin circuit that's popping to go join their stuff. And now we don't have nothing. So, the goal of Alexander the Great was to rule the world. The goal of the Roman Empire was to rule the world. And guess what? They teach their children that history. Arabs teach their children their history. Caucasian, the European teach their children their history. And especially with Caucasians, a lot of, and we all done bad things as people on this earth, irregardless of so-called race. But even though their forefathers did all this evil stuff, they still uphold them in their history classes. You see, we're expected as black people to leave Africa, to leave Haiti, to seek a better life in a more European nation. We're expected as black people in Micronesia and all these small islands where you see like Fiji folks with the big afro. We're expected to convert to Catholicism and leave our indigenous practices, spiritual practices. We're expected here in Black America, whether your folks been here for hundreds of years or they migrated from the Caribbean or Africa, whatever, we're not expected to take it to the highest limit like Alexander the Great. I remember watching a video, man. It was a deep video, and maybe I could put it in the description of this video. I'll probably post it in like my community tab. But he was saying that I think this dude was Haitian or something like that. He was saying that the black man has never been able to rule here in America. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not expected to be dominant and to channel our aggression to our benefit. You see, our aggression is expected to be channeled so they can benefit from it. So we're expected to channel it into their military, into their economy, into sports. That's where we are expected to channel our aggression to make their businesses bigger, right? We're expected to fight for equal rights versus our own nation and our own, just right to rule. But if I can like just translate what he said in that video, it was like it's basically the sentiment of we're not expected to ever think like Alexander the Great and rule the world. Now, I remember my ex-wife, she was a correctional officer, and she had came home one day. She talked to a lot of the inmates. So this was up in New York. And one time she told me, she was like, one of the inmates told her, like, you can't expect, because we did rule at one point, but you can't expect any one people or person to rule forever. So that power has to shift from these people to that people to those people to that people. And that really makes sense. And I think we're at the point now where it's not about dominating other people, but it's about controlling our own shit. And anybody who has a problem with us controlling our own stuff, they are part of the problem. A lot of us, we've taken on the thought pattern of other people who don't want us to control our own stuff. So we'll say stuff like, as soon as you start saying that, hey man, you know, we should have kept the Negro League, they'll be like, oh man, we all humans and man, that don't matter. Meanwhile, they over there controlling their own community, their own dollar, X, Y, and Z. But the whole point of this video is that them brothers up in New York, they should be millionaires. They should be millionaires. All the people I named and more. And as that community spread, it should have been organized into like, this should really be a sport. You know, what we doing these calisthenics and all that, the battles and whatnot, it should be a league that makes a lot of money, that people come to see and watch. Because you see people already love it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes one dude will think, oh man, I just made $100,000 off this. I don't need these other dudes. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's always like that, and this needs to change. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, I have to make this video over and over again, repeatedly. And one reason I have to keep making it is because I can't really express what that dude said in the video. He was like I said, he was basically saying that we are not expected to think like the rulers of the Roman Empire. We're not expected to think like Alexander the Great. You know what I'm saying? We are expected to give other people mercy for no reasons a lot of times. We're expected to be the ones to forgive, the ones to be merciful. And we've never just been like swinging that sword like, no. All y'all did because y'all trying to take what I made, what I have, you know, things like that. We're not expected to be like that. We're not expected to rightfully fight for what is ours. And we're not expected to build it up to the highest of heights. We're not expected to do that. And we're shamed for even wanting to do that. And it's all real, it's all true. It's all true, man. All this is true. So, man, I can't say it enough, man. They should be rich. They should be rich. And this should be a league. It should be summer programs for the youth, not just black, but summer programs for everybody. It should be a real sport. You know, we at the point where it should be a real sport. And best believe, some white collar person, they looking at what's going on. And they thinking about, man, turning this into a league and really making a lot of money off of it. You know, they see us just they saw us just playing around with hip hop. That was a $1 billion industry that ain't controlled by the people that made it. They seen us playing around with the blues and jazz, and that was a $1 billion industry that ain't ruled and controlled by us. They seen us just dribbling a basketball, and now they pay us, but they get more. They get paid more. They not even the ones playing. All this is real, man. So. And it gets way deeper than calisthenics, you know. I'm just speaking on a calisthenics level, you know. But we got to control our own story. We got to control our own narrative. And we got to stop looking at the stuff that we're doing as just some play hobby-ish. That's another thing. Like, when I was up in New York, and I spoke about this briefly in the video. I'm going to make a whole nother video about it, but this is the perfect time. I had my camera. I had just bought a new Canon T4i Rebel EOS. I was loving this camera. I just got it. Had the lens. You got to twist the lens. It was like it's a professional camera, especially back then. And I was walking down Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. I was living in Brownsville at that time. Yeah. And this big black dude, like real big black dude, he was sitting on the bench, and he stopped me. He was like, "Hey," he probably said something like, "Hey, black man," something like that. He was like, "You see what you know what you got in your hand?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I got this new Canon T4 Rebel EOS, and man, I'm finna, you know, I love it, man. I'm taking pictures and all that." He was like, "No, He was like, you got the world in your hands. You got millions of dollars in your hands with that camera. And I BS you not, for over 8 hours. Because around this time, it was like just before noon. We sat on that park bench on Eastern Parkway, which is a long boulevard or whatever. And we talked for 8, 9, 10 hours. And once the sun had went down and everything, we talked about everything under the sun. He reminded me what that camera was really about. It ain't just for play, it ain't just a hobby. And he got up and he left, and I was just sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, man, right? And off that camera, I did a lot of vlogging, a lot of traveling. I went to Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua, Ecuador. You know, I was everywhere filming and vlogging, and I met up with a lot of people off YouTube, and we clicked up together. We did a lot of great things. But because we were young black men who were never schooled to really operate and work with one another, we started to clash. You know, we started to clash, and we never reached our goal that we had before we physically met up. Because our goal was to build something unstoppable. Just know, whatever we trying to build, they either trying to stop it or they trying to take it to capitalize off of it. And rightfully so, because if we ain't gonna take it to the next level, and then they will. And a lot of us have heard this. Oh man, we the originators of this. We created this, we created that. It's cool to be originators, but you gotta be the ones who advance what you originate as well. You gotta be the one to take it to the next level as well. You see what I'm saying? Best believe them Arabs over there in Egypt, they capitalizing off them pyramids that our ancestors built. We built them, but now they got them and they capitalizing off of them. It's a deep thing, man. We start making, when I say we, I'm just speaking about all of us, even though it's different ethnicities, and we should respect each other's ethnicities. But as a whole, man, like perfect example is Africa. Look at it, man. They got all these natural resources, but who's controlling them? Middle Eastern people, Asian people, Caucasian people. But it's the African man and woman's resources. Look at all we invent over here in Black America. We're supposed to be controlling that, but who's owning it? Who's making the most money off of it? It's not us. And we think because we make $1 million or $2 million or even 500 million that we doing something. And it ain't really nothing, because the 5 million that they allow 1% of us to make off what we built, they making 500 billion off of it. So I think, you know, this calisthenics thing is the perfect example. If we don't get it together, if we don't see it as, you know, for what it really is, history is just going to repeat itself. And we're just going to be some niggas out here doing calisthenics, which is good. We're going to be getting, you know, getting it in. We're going to be healthy, you know, all that stuff. We're going to be big and strong and all that shit. But that wasn't the goal of the men in the armies of the Roman Empire or the Greek Empire, to just be strong. They were trying to rule and dominate. Now, I'm not saying that we should be trying to go to other people's land and rule and control them. I'm saying that we should be ruling and controlling ourselves and not letting people outside of us monetize off of us more than we monetize off of ourselves. That's what I'm saying. So, man, a lot of nature been coming around me. Like, usually, you know, the birds and the rabbits, they run, but they've been getting real close to me. Ladybugs been landing on me. I'm in St. Louis, so we see a lot of cardinals and seeing them all day, all the time. But yeah, man, I'm gonna make a part 2, part 3, part 4 of this video. You know, we gotta stop arguing over petty stuff. We think what makes you a man is your muscles. You know, stuff like that, man. You know, and then here's another thing too. I'm gonna make a whole another video about this. It'd be so many people when they see us as black men working out in these videos. It's a lot of racism that come into them videos. They be like, oh, you can work out, but do you have a job? Like somebody said that on Yard Out Troy's channel. And I'm like, this dude got over 300, 400,000 followers between YouTube and Instagram. And then he got his own fitness business where he's selling products. He's monetizing each and every way. And you want to come to his video and say he needs to get a job? You see, they want us to get a job. They don't want what we make popular, what we make pop. They don't want us to make money off of that. That's the perfect example right there. They want us to get a job to make money. But like I told you, what these brothers is doing on this camera is not just for play. It's not a hobby. It is inspiring people. It's motivating people. But it ain't for play. It ain't a hobby. It's really our job to show humanity and for us to monetize off of it at the same damn time. Coming into our videos talking about you doing all these push-ups and calisthenics and weightlifting. That's because you ain't got no job, so you got all day. You just like, you know, the people who look like you were in prison working out all day. Really? 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 Well, you wait until that day when we stop leaving the Negro leagues, right? And we own the fucking league. And nobody's coming to your league because we got it popping. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but we make a lot of shit pop, period. Irregardless of the ethnicities amongst black people. Whether you got an ethnicity from Africa, the Caribbean, the Americas, the little micro islands, wherever, we make shit pop, period. And then people start to imitate it and copy it. Wholeness in life, man. Live abundance and wealth. True talk and true thoughts. Make sure y'all out there and y'all wising up and rising up. And remember, Alexander the Great was not thinking about being equal to nobody. He wasn't thinking about that. Now, I'm not saying that we all should have equal rights. But when you're trying to tone yourself down and be on other people's level, just to say that you're equal, no. You're supposed to be striving to be the best you possible. Best believe what they doing in India right now, they're trying to be the smartest people on earth. And that's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to tone down their intelligence to make other people feel comfortable. We got to stop making people feel comfortable. That's another thing. And we got to work on making ourselves feel comfortable amongst one another. They keep talking about everybody's a human and we're all humans and all that. But none of that makes sense if I'm living in a black community and I can't get along with the people in my black community. So they expect us to get along with everybody else. But amongst ourselves, as soon as I say that we should start getting along with each other, it's a problem. It's a Jedi mind trick. But they're getting along with the people in their race and their ethnicity. Wholeness in life, man. I'm done.